Hi, it's Tawa here from TD Aesthetics and also from the Skin Collaborative. So today I wanted to talk to you about post-inflammatory pigmentation, or PIP, sometimes also known as PIH, which is post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation. Both effectively basically mean the pigmentation and the increased changes in skin pigment and colouring that you might notice after an inflammatory episode like acne or acne scarring or rosacea, etc. So basically, during an inflammatory cascade, so whenever you have an acne breakout or you've got an inflammatory cascade due to an impaired skin barrier, your skin, basically for acne, you've got this bacteria colony called P. acnes, which colonizes the hair follicles, the sebaceous follicles, and the skin reacts with an immune reaction, basically. So it's the immune response that causes the inflammation. Your skin is sending lots of cytokines and white blood cells, etc., to the site of the colonized bacteria to fight them off, basically. And the inflammatory reaction that you see, the redness, the irritation, is all down to this inflammatory cascade, and it's down to your skin's defense mechanism, basically. So post-inflammatory pigmentation manifests in three main ways. So you've got the redness, which is erythema, which can be seen as sort of pink, red, purple, all the colors of that spectrum, patches on your skin where your skin's obviously reacted to the acne breakout or the causative factor for the inflammatory cascade. You've also got hyperpigmentation, and I say it like that because there's also another version of pigmentation, which I'll talk about in a minute. So hyperpigmentation is darker patches of skin where you've got excessive or abnormal production of the pigment melanin for reasons due to the inflammatory cascade or as a reaction to acne or other causative factors on the skin. And you've also got hypopigmentation, which is where you've got lighter patches, again because melanin production has been deranged or become abnormal, but in this instance you've got less melanin being produced in specific patches of the skin, which gives the skin a very uneven and patchy look. So what can you actually do? Just excuse me flicking through my notes there. What can you actually do to reduce the impact of post-inflammatory pigmentation on your skin? Actually, the first thing you should be considering is prevention rather than cure. The best way to prevent any kind of post-inflammatory pigmentation is to invest in a decent quality sunscreen. You should be using a broad spectrum sun protection factor every single day, or as one of my colleagues in the Skin Collaborative calls it, skin protection factor, because that's exactly what it is. It should be used every day, regardless of whether it's sunny or cloudy or raining, etc. Even when you're indoors and you're sitting near a window, you should be using SPF, because the sun's aging and burning rays can penetrate glass, can penetrate UPVC, and even using our devices, mobile phones or computer monitors or laptops or tablets, all of those emit light, blue light and the invisible light that can have an impact on the skin and can certainly derange production of pigment in the skin. So the first treatment should always be prevention rather than cure. Another way to treat post-inflammatory pigmentation is by using prescription creams that will contain things like azelaic acids or adapalene or benzyl peroxide, which are all agents that will break down and lighten the pigment in the skin. Those creams are more suitable for hyperpigmentation rather than hypopigmentation because they're trying to reduce the amount of melanin, the pigment, that currently sits in the skin. You can also use other forms of lightening type creams, for example, things like cysteamine or hydroquinone or kojic acid, which actually inhibit the production of more pigment. So you've got creams that will break down the pigment in the skin and thus induce a lightening effect. And you've got these other creams with these other ingredients which will actually inhibit the production of more melanin in the first place, also leading to a lightening of the pigment in the skin. Also, another way to treat PIH is by using superficial chemical peels to exfoliate the skin and remove the dead skin cells on the surface of the skin that already carry too much pigment, to try and normalize and even out the spread of pigment across the skin. So peels that contain ingredients such as glycolic acids, other alpha hydroxy acids or beta hydroxy acids, so citric acid for example, or even chemical peels that contain trichloroacetic acids in a very dilute formulation, because all of those acids, although mild and although superficial on the skin, can still cause damage and can actually worsen the situation if used improperly. So bear in mind, you should always be asking your practitioner why they've chosen the treatment option that they've chosen for you, what they expect it to do for your pigmentation, and how soon you can expect to see results. And also talk to them about what else you should be doing on a daily basis to reduce that pigmentation further. A lot of the time, the best results come from a combination of treatments in clinic as well as home care that you can use at home, whether that be your skincare or LED lamps that you can use at home or supplements. But generally, working together is the best way to reduce that pigmentation, or at least reduce its appearance. So I hope that's been really helpful. Please reach out to myself or any of my colleagues within the Skin Collaborative if you have any questions about post-inflammatory pigmentation. Take care and have a great day. Bye for now.